John Chard joins us now, who advises parents on how to appeal. I mean, some pretty extreme examples there, John, of how this has affected some of our viewers' families. Kirsty's got 3 kids at 3 different schools. Pat's saying their granddaughter's got a school that they've never heard of. They've got another school there from Kelly that's not even their first or second choice.
Yes.
Why? Why does this have to happen?
I'm afraid it's something which has been happening for many, many years. The government many years ago introduced the options of parents being able to express a preference, which means that in exercising that preference, people look at all different issues to do with schools as to why they think one school perhaps is better than another school. But sadly, it does mean that the demand never meets the actual number of places. So therefore,
tens of thousands end up without the school that they want their child to go to.
Yes.
What are the options for appeal, and how successful are appeals?
Historically, the success rate for secondary schools has been about 30%. So roughly 1 in 3 appeals are successful.
Okay.
So it's certainly worth pursuing that.
So what do? You got the email or the letter or the announcement yesterday. It's not what you want. What happens now?
Well, you'll be advised as to how you can access the appeal process. You will need to complete a form, either a hard copy or fill it in online. You need to make sure that gets in by the closing date, which has to be a minimum of 20 school days from the date of the 1st of March, which is towards the end of March. Do
you accept or reject the place that you've been offered?
My advice will be to accept the place, because you keep your options open, then look at other schools possibly and access the appeals process.
Sorry, John. So you accept the place, get online, launch an appeal. You've got 20 days to do that, and that is absolutely crucial. You've got to lodge that within 20 days.
You do, yes, but you don't actually lose the right to appeal if you miss that deadline. Okay. All it means is it won't be heard necessarily at the same time as all the other on-time appeals.
So once you've got through, if you get through the online appeal, then what happens?
Well, once you've got that, you've then got a further period of time within which to submit any additional evidence. You'll be given a further period of 10 school days within which to be notified of when the appeal will take place, and that will be heard by an independent panel. So
the crucial thing for the viewers that we've heard from that haven't got the place is that additional evidence. What is the evidence that they need to hear to understand that actually the choice of school that the child's been given isn't right, and they should be going to the school nearer them or where their sibling is?
Well, as far as the independent appeal process is concerned, the independent appeal panel are not bound by the admissions criteria which have been used by the schools to allocate the places, so that they can put forward a range of things. And the examples you've mentioned there, the panel can take all of that into consideration, which most of the schools would not have taken into account because that doesn't feature as part of their criteria. But the crucial thing is the panel can exercise that discretion. They may agree, they may not agree, but it's up to parents to provide that evidence.
OK, so what you mean is if you'd applied for the school on the basis of catchment or sibling policy, if you're appealing, you can actually introduce other reasons that you might want your child to go to that school.
Absolutely. And the panel can take all of that into account, but as I say, they may not necessarily agree with that. That's up to them to exercise their discretion.
Okay.
But 1 in 3 senior school place seems to overturn the original...
Historically, yes, but of course that is the national average.
Yes.
Of course, it will vary from area to area and from school to school.
Oh, John, thanks very much. The Department of Education spokesperson said the proportion of parents getting a place at their first choice of school remains stable, and that it's pushing ahead with the creation of a further 600,000 new school places.